Coming up on OU Nightly, we'll have the latest on fires breaking out across the state of Oklahoma.
Plus, a massive wildfire burns thousands of acres at the Wichita Mountains Refuge. We're live with a look at the damage. We're live at the Oklahoma City Memorial and Museum with the importance of today. This is OU Nightly. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Savannah Simmons.
And I'm Darby McCormick. We begin tonight with breaking news. Wildfires across the state right now. This video from our partners at News 9 show a fire in Logan County near Langston University. We know that homes are evacuated near this area. Now it seems like this that have our weather team on high alert. Let's get to the very latest on the fire weather warnings, starting with Garrett Tarver.
Well, the fire danger across Oklahoma, much of us at an elevated risk. Out to the west, we do have a critical risk for wildfires, and in a lot of those areas, we have a red flag warning, which means conditions are very favorable for wildfires. If they do spark, they're going to burn very quickly. And some have already started to pop up. We have the big one down outside of Lawton, again, another one outside of Langston. Chloe, it's hot outside. Tell me about it. What does it feel like?
Garrett, it is hot out here. It's windy. It keeps blowing me away every once in a while, but it's also very dry outside, all of which are favorable conditions for fire weather. Here's a look at your current temperatures right now, upper 80s, lower 90s, very above average for this time of year. We also have low humidity percentages in the 20s in central Oklahoma and in the teens for western Oklahoma, really contributing to the critical fire risk, as Garrett was mentioning. Now, your campus weather authority is really tracking this, but in the meantime, I'm going to toss it back to Garrett in the studio. Garrett.
Well, it's hot. The wildfires we're going to continue to look at those coming up, as well as some record temperatures and a chance for severe storms moving into Wednesday and more rain on the way. Darby?
Thank you, Garrett. The most massive fire burning right now is near the Wichita Mountains Wildlife Refuge. It's on its 4th day and it's being called the Rush Fire. OU Nightly's Olivia Hayes joins us live from the newsroom with an update. Olivia?
Savannah, Darby, officials tell me the fire is 48% contained right now. Here's a look at the fire at its most dangerous from our friends at KOCO. We know there are at least 33 fire engines, a helicopter, aircrafts, with almost 160 people fighting it. It's a multi-agency effort with help coming from federal, state, and local levels.
The local refuge, the local fire department, Fort Sill, Oklahoma Division of Forestry. Wasn't for everybody working together, this fire could have been a lot bigger, a lot worse.
Federal firefighters tell me that the cause of the fire is still under investigation. In the newsroom, Olivia Hayes, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Olivia. Those same folks fighting fire are among those being honored today as part of National First Responders Day. OU Nightly's Abby Franklin joins us live from the Oklahoma City National Memorial. Abigail, first responders are a huge part of the memorial story.
That's absolutely right, Savannah. Every April 19th, the Oklahoma City National Memorial remembers those who were killed, those who survived, and those changed forever. And on today, on National First Responders Day, they welcomed in first responders who, to honor them, those men and women who ran towards the tragedy to help in their official emergency roles on that fateful day. And as an opportunity for them to give thanks, the museum welcomed in those first responders to talk about the importance this day brings to Oklahoma City. Fire, EMS, and police were some of the very first on site on April 19th, and now those first responders and new ones are back here on the grounds of the memorial nearly 30 years later to be honored by the museum and meet some players of the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I know they play obviously for themselves as a team, and but you can see the fun they're having, how they work together. It's great for our first responders to come out and meet them.
When you go through something so tragic and you're able to bounce back, you know, like Oklahoma did, it just shows the way the community was able to come together.
Now, some of those players got to learn about some of the stories from the police chief you saw there. And they even had Engine 1 out here, which was one of the first engines on scene on that very day. So you got to take a look at that. And fire, police, and EMS were welcome today to learn more about today, free of charge. Live at the Oklahoma City National Memorial, Abigail Franklin, OU Nightly.
Well, thank you so much, Abigail. With the election just 1 week and a day away, politics is taking center stage across the country, and right here at OU too. Last week, the OU Economics Club hosted a panel to discuss issues students care about. OU Nightly's Kennedy Patterson was there.
OU's Economics Club hosted its 2024 election panel at Gaylord last night. Experts lined the panel to discuss how future policies could affect students.
Vote not just for today, but also for you tomorrow.
Hundreds of students quickly turned the Gaylord College Auditorium into standing room only. The goal of the event? To break down politics for students to understand and act on.
That you can't complain if you're not voting. So if you're dissatisfied with what's happening, or you're dissatisfied later on, just make sure that you go out there and you vote.
Representatives from OK Votes also spoke on the need for more college-aged people to vote.
Young people are the least likely to vote, which is a sad stat. However, if we do vote in this election, we make up the largest voting bloc. That means that we will have the largest share in what happens in November.
Though differences in politics can cause tensions, the club says it keeps neutrality as a top priority.
Because we really want to have a politically diverse group. We want, Republicans, Democrats, and everyone else kind of in our organization because, that's kind of where you can learn a lot of things that maybe you otherwise wouldn't, so it's valuable.
Reporting from Gaylord College, Kennedy Patterson, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Kennedy. To national news now, and harsh words at a presidential campaign rally drawing criticism. OU Nightly's Taryn Ward has today's headlines from the Election Center.
Savannah, former President Trump's rally last night is drawing backlash after remarks from speakers at the event. Take a listen.
There's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah, I think it's called Puerto Rico.
Can you imagine Kamala Harris performing a random, kind, generous act? She is the devil, whoever screamed that out. She is the Antichrist.
Her and her pimp handlers will destroy our country. We need to slaughter this other people.
Spokesperson for Trump says the remarks do not reflect the views of the former president or his campaign. Meanwhile, Vice President Harris responding this afternoon, condemning the tone of last night's rally.
They want a president of the United States who's about uplifting the people and not berating, not calling America a garbage can.
Hours after Trump's rally, Puerto Rican rapper Bad Bunny joined other Latino celebrities in supporting the Harris campaign. On the trail today, Harris and Trump both trying to win over voters in swing states. Kamala Harris is campaigning in Michigan, focusing on the manufacturing industry in the state. Meanwhile, Trump is in Georgia, speaking at a faith summit and hosting a rally in Atlanta tonight. Savannah, Darby.
Thanks, Taryn. Store closures have been at an all-time high this year.
How some businesses have bitten off more than they can chew, coming up.
And according to Americans, the economy is looking really good.
Hear why citizens are thinking such things, coming up.
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
When we have the food we need, we are at our best. We push further. we rise higher. We unlock our full potential. When we have the food we need, we make our communities stronger. Together, we can help everyone get the food they need to thrive. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here are some water conservation tips you can try. In the kitchen, collect the excess water you use to rinse produce and use it to water houseplants. Also, soak your pots and pans instead of letting the water run while you scrape them. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman.
Hundreds of major retailers closing their doors due to competition and high prices. OU Nightly's Abby Hollingsworth explains in today's Money Matters.
Chains are on track to close the highest number of stores in 2024 than any other year since 2020. Business research group CoreSite says major retailers have announced more than 6,100 store closures this year. To try to fight the fear of closures, stores like Walmart say they will slash prices. Amazon is doing the same. Bankrate, a consumer finance website, says there are some easy ways to get your emergency fund started. Financial experts recommend making a budget, determining your fund goal, setting up direct deposit, and saving any extra income. For those living paycheck to paycheck, create a budget or think about saving part of your tax refund can help to get a savings fund started. The latest consumer survey from the University of Michigan shows Americans are feeling better about the economy thanks to lower interest rates. The university says this month's attitude increase was mostly due to lowering costs. Darby, Savannah, I'll get back to you guys.
Well, thank you so much, Abby. And for those that are struggling with paying bills, you are not alone.
Why difficulty with paying for your livelihood isn't so rare as you think next.
And we have more on those wildfires and the severe chances later this week coming up after this break.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing that keeps us focused. A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and mental health. Discover the resources you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here is a water conservation tip you can try. In the bathroom, if your shower can fill a 1-gallon bucket in less than 20 seconds, replace the shower head with a water-efficient one. They are cheap, easy to install, and can save you up to 750 gallons a month. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman. Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here is a water conservation tip you can try. In the bathroom, turn off the water while you brush your teeth. You'll save about 4 gallons per minute. That comes out to about 200 gallons a week for a family of 4. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman.
People couldn't see my potential, so I had to show them.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
Today, I'm the CEO of my own company.
That's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Why are we not rethinking this?
I am more.
I'm more than
who I am on paper.
Well, we are only just a couple days away from Halloween, and it certainly does not feel like it. Temperatures are cranking up, some of us breaking records, some of us tying them, and just getting really, really close. Oklahoma City now has hit their record high, so they've tied it at 89. Norman's just a little bit lower at about 88. Our record is 90, but it's definitely hot all across the state. You see those temperatures, upper 80s, 90s, down to the south and to the north. Across the state, it's really the same thing. A lot of high temperatures. Idabel, 86, but the rest of us approaching 90. Very unseasonable for this time of the year. And what you'll also notice is the winds. The wind gusts are just crazy out here, up to 40 miles an hour up north, and it's going to continue for the next at least day or so. Going into Tuesday, we have a wind advisory for much of the state right along the I-44 corridor down from Miami into Lawton. Now, this is not helping our fires. Neither is the humidity. We got the humidity values, the percentages in the 20s, teens all the way out into the Panhandle, Oklahoma. It's dry, it's hot, it's windy, and the wildfires are kicking up. We got the one down in Lawton in the Wichita Mountains Wildlife Refuge. Wildlife Refuge is closed as that fire continues to burn. That's over 12,000 acres, only at 48% contained. And the newest fire is going to be over in Logan County, outside of Langston and Guthrie in this area. It looks like, I believe, around 100 acres or so right now. We'll continue to watch that fire as it burns. And we're going to see this moving into tomorrow as well with that fire risk. Today, a high for a majority of the state, especially off to the northwest, moderate down to the southeast, and it'll dip as we go overnight, but into tomorrow, those moderate chances will crank back up into the afternoon and evening with the hot, dry, windy weather. Now, we do have storms on the way. Now, I'd prefer rain, but we have a severe risk for really the whole central part of Oklahoma. And now, timing that out, we'll see storms start to kick up moving into Wednesday. Wednesday afternoon into the late evening is when we'll see those heavier thunderstorms start to move through, but by Thursday morning, those will move on out, and we have another chance moving into Sunday. Now, we're super dry, so this rain is really going to help, but not all at once. And all at once is going to lead to possible flash flooding risk moving into Wednesday night. Now, we're going to see above average precip into the next 6 to 10 days, so hopefully it'll help that drought start to dip off. And we see that on the 7-day. Tuesday, 82, but we start to cool down with those evening thunderstorms on Wednesday. Halloween's not going to be too bad as we dip into the 60s. And then rain chances start Saturday, Sunday, Monday into next week, but cooler temperatures. Not too bad. I'm looking forward to the rain.
Yeah, I am as well. I think that the rain will definitely help with those fires out there. So thank you, Garrett. Households earning over $150,000 are living paycheck to paycheck. A Bank of America report says about a fifth of high-earning American households are in this situation. Inflation, pricey mortgages, and a large utility bills are the main reasons why families are stretching their budgets. Households can receive some relief as kids age out of childcare and inflation rates drop. The Sooners visited the SIP for the first time ever on Saturday.
And our sports team was with the team in Oxford, and Aiden has that breakdown.
Yeah, OU will be back on the road next week. I'll tell you when to plan your watch party. But that's not it. A former Sooner in the pros returned home for a game. Hear what he says he can be better at coming up next in sports.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here are some water conservation tips you can try. In the kitchen, collect the excess water you use to rinse produce and use it to water houseplants. Also, soak your pots and pans instead of letting the water run while you scrape them. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman. Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
Hello, I'm Aiden Tyler, and it's time for sports. OU announced that kickoff next Saturday against Missouri will be at either 6 p.m. or 6:45 p.m. Now looking back to Ole Miss, OU gave up 9 sacks, tying a school record for sacks allowed. However, after the game, statisticians added a 10th sack to that total, breaking the record. OU Nightly's Emily LeBeth has the story.
Against Ole Miss, firing offensive coordinator Seth Luttrell and starting Jackson Arnold at quarterback, and they looked like a changed team in the first half. They outgained the Rebels in total yards and converted 7 of 9 third downs. But when the second half came around, it's what Sooner fans have seen all season. Back-to-back games of 9 sacks and back-to-back games of the defense failing to force a turnover. But they understand how to move forward.
We got to have more discipline, and everything starts and ends with discipline, and we got to play with it. You got to take the things that you do in the course of game or practice, and you got to take it to game day.
It's just a different mindset that I'm kind of attacking it with, a different level of confidence, and really just go out there and playing free. People are hating on me, hating on the team, and at this point we're just no pressure on our shoulders, just going out and playing loose and having fun.
The Sooners host Maine next for the first time ever, and this game's important. They need to win 2 of their next 4 in order to become bowl eligible. Reporting from Vaught Hemingway Stadium, Emily LeBeth, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Emily. Former Sooners were booming in the NFL on Sunday. Jalen Hurts scored 4 total touchdowns, this one being the only passing touchdown. He had 273 yards as his Philadelphia Eagles beat the Cincinnati Bengals 37-17. In San Francisco, CeeDee Lamb had a monstrous game. 13 catches, 146 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But his Dallas Cowboys fell to the 49ers 30-24. And Ramondre Stevenson ran for 2 touchdowns, including this game winner, as his New England Patriots beat their rival New York Jets 25-22. And the Oklahoma City Thunder hosted the Hawks last night and looked to spoil a former Sooners homecoming. OU Nightly's Abby Williams has the story from the Paycom Center.
The NBA season is back in Oklahoma City for the Thunder's home opener, and so is former Sooner turned Atlanta Hawk Trae Young.
I mean, anytime we get to come back here and play in front of family and friends, it's always great. Having them in the building is always fun. I came growing up here as a kid, so it's always fun.
Hawks star Trae Young came back to the Sooner State Sunday night, but it wasn't a very happy homecoming for the Norman native. The Thunder now move to 3-0, clipping the Hawks' wings 128-104. Now, as Trae Young enters his 7th NBA season and he seeks out his 4th NBA All-Star Game appearance, he still says there's things to improve on.
Just continue to get better at everything that I'm used to, or that I'm already usually good at. For me, it's my body, making sure I'm available, making sure I'm there for my team. So that's what I try to do every summer.
The next and final time this season the Thunder and Hawks meet again is February 28th in Atlanta. Reporting from the Paycom Center in Oklahoma City, Abby Williams, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Abby. OU softball defeated the Louisiana Monroe Warhawks in a doubleheader scrimmage. The Sooners took Game 1 8-0 and Game 2 12-0. Sam Landry and Arjun Lowry combined for a no-hitter in Game 1. Sooner fans also broke a fall ball attendance record at the scrimmages. And the OU baseball team opened up fall ball with a 14-inning exhibition match against McLennan College. And the Sooners dominated with an 11-2 win. And it was 9-0 after the full 9 innings. The pitching staff struck out 21 batters over the 14 innings. Savannah, Darby.
Well, home is where the heart is, and it's clear that this Oklahoma family thinks so after being reunited with their slow 4-legged friend.
Here, they reacted to this pet's long-awaited arrival home when we return.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. 2 milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
We said we'd never break the 3-second rule. Never do that. And never become a minivan mom.
Hey, Chris.
As parents, we say never a lot, but never happens. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock.
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
I'm Kelsey Speed with an update on a wildfire that prompted mandatory evacuations in eastern Logan County. Those evacuations have now been lifted for residents in the area, the fire now contained. The massive grass fire sparked just off of State Highway 33 around 1 this afternoon, sending heavy smoke into the air. Logan County is one of the 42 counties under a burn ban right now. Savannah, Darby.
Thanks, Kelsey. A Piedmont family has been reunited with their pet tortoise after months of searching. Ferb, the African tortoise, was found last week just steps away from his home. 9 weeks ago, owner Sherry Zadie said she stepped away for a phone call when Ferb shimmied under a fence and took off. He was found just 100 feet away in a field outside their home. Now Ferb has been reunited with not only his owners, but his partner in crime, Phineas, as well.
It's definitely something that you cannot forget, your favorite pet. And we certainly cannot forget our snazzy looking meteorologist, Garrett Tarver. Give us a little bit look at the week forecast.
Well, the tortoise would have loved what we have later this week, but right now it's just hot. We have a cold front moving through on Wednesday, though. Wednesday evening will bring some rain chances, possibly severe. We'll continue to look at that. But Thursday for Halloween looks pretty good. We might have some rain in the morning, but looking clear in the afternoon. And then we got rain from then on out, really, for the next week. So if you're a tortoise, you'd love it.
I'm definitely not sure. It's not a rain person, but thank you so much, Garrett. All right, thank you guys for watching OU Nightly. I'm Savannah Simmons.
And I'm Darby McCormick. Be sure to watch OU Nightly live weekdays at 4:30. Good night.